Shalom, Koloyim La, Yahawah Ba'Hashem Yahushai. Oscar Daban is Delta GMS, and honest to you, Akim. Peace and bless your brothers and sisters that listen. The hopeful elect, the church of the firstborn. Koloyim La, Yahawah Ba'Hashem Yahushai, man. And, inspired to this lesson, just seeing the Elder Menatizak's testimony on the Most High getting rid of a hidden enemy on his job, man, his manager, an Edomite. Who he thought he was somewhat cool with. But behind his back, he was trying to get him fired, man. And he had no clue until the general manager told him about the whole situation, man. Seeing Yahawah Ba'Hashem Yahushai looking out for brothers in different ways, man. In our day-to-day life, man. Always looking out for the brothers, man. You know what I mean? And that's a beautiful thing, because we're just fortunate, man, to be blessed with the knowledge and to be blessed with his name. And that's why it's always important to pray. Okay? Because he didn't even know that guy was an enemy. And long story short, he was thinking after that guy got fired, they told him the whole situation. That he was going to, not he, but he thought they was going to hire another manager, an outside manager. Right? He had to get used, probably thought he was going to work underneath another guy. And then, however, the general manager gave him that devil's position that tried to get him fired. Now he's the new manager, man. See? Koloyim La, Yahawah Ba'Hashem Yahushai, man. And the scriptures have very similar situations. We ourselves in our own personal life got very similar situations, man. That's why the scripture says, let me get Psalms the 75th chapter. It says, Psalm 75, verse 6. It says, for promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. But the Most High is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. We know this is talking about kingdoms, right? The Most High bring down one kingdom and he brings up the other kingdom, man. But even in this situation right here, man, you see, in his personal, his day-to-day life on his job, the Most High raised him up, man, and gave him that devil's position that was trying to get him fired, and he had no clue about it. You see? And that's all of us, man, because we have the light of Yahushai in us. A lot of us are not lights, man. Most of us are not light. That's in this truth. But like King David and like the men of Yahawah Ba'Hashem Yahushai, scripture talks about behaving wisely. Okay? Like when King David was going through his struggle with Saul, he behaved wisely, man. Even though he knew the situation that he was in. Because Yahushai commanded us, he said, to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. Man. All right, King David even said this against Psalms 69, verse 4. So this is also very beautiful Psalms as well. This is also a curse, man. A lot of these Psalms are curses. Because why? King David had a lot of enemies and adversaries of his own people, right? These other nations, his own household. Right, and we're all going to be put in similar situations as well, coming into the time of Jacob's trouble, man, when the persecution start ramping up. All right, but this is what he says, Psalm 69, verse 1. Save me, O Most High, for the waters are come into my soul. I sink in deep mire where there is no standing. And we know those waters represent what? He's being overwhelmed, right? Because that flood is to destroy you or to drown you. Right, so he has numerous amount of problems, numerous amount of enemies and adversaries, and that's all of us in our day-to-day life, man. Right, he said, I come into deep waters where the floods overflow me. I am weary of my crying, my throat is dry, mine eyes fail while I wait for my power. This is the point, verse 4. They that hate me without a cause, see, for no apparent reason. Just like that brother gave his testimony, the elder, man. Okay, he's like, he thought he was at peace with the guy, man. And the problems that he had with him, he never told him face to face or addressed it. Went behind his back and tried to get him fired, man. And brothers, we need our day-to-day job, man. Because contrary to popular belief, like these other scoffers and these other idiots out there, yes, the elders and the apostles and the brothers on down work, man. You have to work, man. All right, the scripture tells you by the sweat of your brow, that's how you was going to eat, man. That's how he's going to eat your bread. Scripture says in 2 Thessalonians 3 and 10, if you don't work, you don't eat, man. Scripture tells you not to live a beggar's life. So we all work, man. We all got jobs and occupations. Certain other brothers got certain businesses set up, man. You have to work, man. All right. So King David said what? So like I was saying, in that brother's situation, that devil tried to get him fired. Scripture said if you take away your neighbor's living, slayeth him. Tells you that in Sirach 34:22. Okay, so that devil, he's a like, you know, but we don't expect anything less from these Edomites, because they all have that plastic smile and pat you on the back and make sure, you know, make it look like they're at peace with you, but they really hate you, man. So King David said what? Verse 4, he said, they that hate me without a cause are more than the hairs of mine head. So he has an innumerable amount of enemies. Those that you know and see, and those that you don't know. Right? Because they repress their feelings. But you see, Yahawah Shah is the judge, as read in Psalms, the 75th chapter. He's presiding and sees over all, man. And remove that demon, man. Okay? A lot of things happening behind the scenes that we have no clue about, man. Right? And that's why it's important to fear Yahawah Shah, man. Right? It says, they that will destroy me, be mine enemies, wrongfully are mighty. Then I restored that which not I took away. All right, so this whole entire chapter is good. David is crying out to Yahawah Shah. You know, he's saying that, you know, the waters was drawing nigh into my soul. Help me, deliver me from my enemies and adversaries, my strong enemy. And he said, listen, my enemies are more than the hairs of my head. All right, and like I said, that's all of us in this thing. All right, we all have a whole bunch of enemies and adversaries. In your life or in your walk, in this truth, man. All right, let me get this next precept. And like we said, there's many testimonies in the scriptures. Matter of fact, let me get Psalms. Matter of fact, no, let me get 2 Maccabees. This is actually a powerful. Bring this out in a while, actually. 2 Maccabees, chapter 10. Because this is when Judas Maccabees was going against, I think, Timotheus, if I'm not mistaken, one of the Seleucid generals or military commanders. All right, and this is what he said. Let me get 2 Maccabees chapter 10, verse. Matter of fact, get some precepts. All right. 2 Maccabees chapter 10, verse 22. So when Judas Maccabees was cleaning house, let me read verse 24. Now Timotheus, whom the Jews had overcome before, when he had gathered a great multitude of foreign forces and horses out of Asia and out of few, came as though he would take Jewry by the force of arms, Judea. But when he drew near, they that were at Maccabees turned themselves to pray unto the Most High. And this is what we always stress. The apostles and elders on down always stress you have to pray, man. Men are to always pray, man. Pray, man. Okay? Make your petitions known to Yahawah Shah, man. Pray that you also stay and walk in the spirit, man. You don't do nothing that causes blame on the ministry. You have to remain spiritual at all times. Okay, so he says, pray unto the Most High and sprinkle the earth upon their heads, and girded their loins with sackcloth, and fell down at the foot of the altar, and besought him to be merciful to them. And this is the point. And to be an enemy, be merciful unto them, and to be an enemy to their enemies, and an adversaries to their adversaries, as the law declared. You want the Most High to be an enemy to your enemies, man, and an adversaries to your adversaries, as was seen in that brother case, right? Even when you read further on in the Maccabees, Nicanor, him and Judas Maccabees were cool, right? But because of that decree of Demetrius and alchemists that went to him, a sellout nigga, it caused tension between the two. And Nicanor went back on his oath that he made with Judas Maccabees, man. Okay? And Judas Maccabees started realizing, and he started separating themselves. Matter of fact, let me get a 2 Maccabees, the 14th chapter. Like I said, there's various testimonies in the scriptures, man. Let me get that 2 Maccabees 14, verse. Let's So 2 Maccabees 14:23. Let me jump straight to the point. Now Nicanor abode in Jerusalem and did no hurt, but sent away the people that came flocking unto him. And he would not willingly have Judas out of his sight, for he loved the man from his heart. So they were at peace with each other at one point. Right? This is Nicanor. I believe he was a governor of Judea at that time. Right? This is all the Seleucid dynasty. All right? We know this is our struggle against the Greeks. All right? 3 verse 25. He prayed him also to take a wife and to get children. So he married and was quiet and took part of this life. Now Alcimus, perceiving the love that was betwixt them, who was a wicked priest, and Uncle Tom, he saw the peace that was between Judas Maccabees and Nicanor, and considering the covenants that were made, came to Demetrius, who I believe this was the son of Seleucus IV, if I'm not mistaken, right? And told him Nicanor was not well affected towards the state, for that he had ordained Judas a traitor to his realm to be the king's successor. Then the king, being enraged, provoked with accusations of the most wicked man because of Alcimus, all right, wrote to Nicanor, signifying that he was much displeased with the covenant, and commanded him that he should send Maccabees prisoner in all haste unto Antioch, right, or Syria. Now, when this came to Nicanor's hearing, he was much confounded in himself, and took it grievously that he should make void the articles which were agreed upon, and the man being in no fault. But because there was no dealing against the king, he watched this time to accomplish this thing by policy. It's the point. Notwithstanding, when Maccabees saw that Nicanor began to be churlish, he started to be hostile unto him, that he entreated him more roughly than he was wont. Perceiving that such sour behavior came not of good, he gathered together not a few of his men and withdrew himself from Nicanor, man. And this eventually led to a war between the two. All right. And we know that Judas Maccabees won that war. That's what we celebrate that day in Nicanor. This is right before Purim. Okay. And he had a beautiful vision and dream. The prophet Jeremiah gave him a golden sword. All right. And he saw Onias, man, the high priest. He said, this is the prophet Jeremiah. And he said, use this sword to destroy your adversaries, man, a golden sword. Right? So it's a similar situation. They were at peace, or he thought they were at peace, and he turned on them, man. But Yahawah gave him the victory, man. And like I said, these are countless testimonies in the scriptures, even when you go into Daniel. All right? I tell you that Daniel had knowledge on all wisdom, knowledge, understanding, science. Right? He was one of the king's counselors. He became one of the presidents, which are over the princes. Right? You can even go into his backstory in Bel and the Dragon. Right? He was an ancient scientist. He destroyed the dragon, that idol, that Babylonian idol. And he created a lot of enemies and adversaries. That's where they tricked the king to sign off on, if you worship any other deity other than the king, you'll be thrown in the lion's den. And they threw Daniel in the lion's den. But what happened? Yahawah delivered him, man. Let me just read the end of that part, actually. So going into what? Our unknown enemies and adversaries. But what happened? They all got promoted and blessed in the end. We get Daniel chapter 6. Daniel chapter 6, verse 23. Then was the king exceedingly glad for him, and commanded that they should not take Daniel up out of the den. So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no manner of hurt was found upon him, because he believed in his power, man. See, he was innocent, man. See, like King David said, they that hate me without a cause are more than the hairs of my head, man. Okay? So our forefathers went through the same thing. Let me read on. And the king commanded that they should brought those men that accused Daniel, and they cast them to the den of those lions, their children and their wives, and the lions had the mastery over them, and break all their bones in pieces, or ever they came at the bottom of the den. Okay, let me read so we all know. And he made a decree that everybody had to worship Yahawah, tremble and fear at his name. Verse 27. Verse 28. So this Daniel prospered in the reign of Darius, and in the reign of Cyrus the Persian. See, so he was even more exalted. He prospered in that reign, and the Most High came through for him, man. even though he had unknown enemies and adversaries. Okay? And like we said before, when you go into our forefather Joseph, the same thing. His brothers was envious to him because he had a lot of dreams and visions, and he could also interpret dreams as well. Okay, and he was pretty much Jacob's favorite son, man. He had a coat of many colors, because the scripture tells you that Jacob loved Joseph more than all his children, and his brothers got envious of him, right? And they end up selling him to the Ishmaelites, and he got led captive into Egypt. But what happened? Yahawah Shah, and also he got falsely accused, right? When he became one of the king's counselors, he was one of the vassal kings of Egypt. He was pretty much running the empire, and he got falsely accused by Pharaoh's wife, and he got tossed into prison. But Yahawah Shah delivered him as well again, man. And he got reinstated into his position, and he ended up saving Egypt from famine. All right? There was a huge famine in the land at that time, man. And Jacob and his children had to end up going down into Egypt to buy grain. Okay? And what happened? After this whole story, he showed them who he was. What did Joseph say? Get Genesis chapter 50, verse 20. It says, verse 18, and his brethren also, and went and fell down before his face, and they said, behold, we be thy servants. And he had this dream and visions, all right, that all the 11 stars, the sun and the moon, made reverence unto him. Okay, the Most High pretty much made him Lord in Egypt, man. And this is the fulfillment of that, right? They wanted him, pretty much wanted him to forgive them of their trespasses that they made against him. But what did Joseph say? He said, and Joseph said unto them, fear not, for I am in the place of the Most High. But as for you, he said, but as for you, yeah, like he said, I'm not in the place of the Most High. Don't be bound down to me, man. Don't give me that much homage or reverence. Don't do that, man. But he says, but as for you, ye thought evil against me, but the Most High meant it unto good, to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive, man. That was the point, man. You guys thought you did evil to me, but the Most High meant it unto good. And look at the place of the position that he was in. He got raised up, man. Right? That's the whole point of this video, man. Just like when you also read the famous story of talking about the persecution, Haman wanted to destroy the Jews because Mordecai did not bow down or reverence him. Okay? And pretty much the Jews, we were pretty much in great sorrow and distress, all right? Because Mordecai pretty much let the king sign up on a decree to exterminate all the Jews, man. Right? So Mordecai went into deep prayer, and so did Esther. But see how Yahawah Shah turned the tide. Let's get Esther, the 6th chapter. Let's get it. Esther chapter 6, verse 1. That's the point I want to get out. So it says, on that night could not the king sleep. This is King Xerxes. Right? So while Haman is trying to do his thing behind the scenes to get the Jews eradicated because Mordecai didn't reverence him, Mordecai sent up a beautiful prayer, and so did Esther. Okay? They're trying to thwart his plan. And they need Yahawah Shah to come through. And this is how the Most High works in the kingdom of men. Right? This scripture says, in the vision of the night, when deep sleep cometh upon men, the Most High sealeth their instructions. And this is how he's working on King Xerxes' mind. Let's read. Esther chapter 6, verse 1. On that night could not the king sleep, and he commanded to bring the book of the records of the chronicles. And they were read before the king. And it was found within that Mordecai had told Bigthani and Teresh, 2 of the king's chamberlains, the keepers of the door, who sought to lay hands on King Ahasuerus, which is Xerxes. And the king said, what honor and dignity had been done to Mordecai for this? Then said the king's servant that ministered unto him, there's nothing done for him. And the king said, who is in the court? Now Haman or Haman was coming to the outward court of the king's house to speak unto the king to hang Mordecai on the gallows that he had prepared for him. So here he's coming in. The king wants to honor Mordecai, and here he's coming in to try to get rid of him or to kill him. Right? And what happened? Verse 5, it says, And the king's servant said unto him, Behold, Haman standeth in the court. And the king said, Let him come in. So Haman came in, and the king said unto him, What shall be done unto the man whom the king delighteth to honor? Now Haman thought in his heart, to whom would the king delight to do more honor more than himself? So he thought the king was referring to him. And Haman answered the king, For the man whom the king delighteth to honor, let the royal apparel be brought with the king he useth to wear, and the horse that the king rideth upon, and the crown royal which is set upon his head. And let this apparel and horse be delivered to the hand one of the king's most noble princes. So he thought the king was going to do this for him, and he was going to honor him. He was going to promote him, which he already promoted him. Okay? But he thought he was going to esteem him even more. Right? And that's the whole point of this entire lesson, man. Promotion coming not from the east or the south or the west, but Yahawah Shem Yahushua. Right? And he's going to exalt all of us in due time for being faithful, man. But we got to go through these trials. All right? Reading about our forefathers right now. Then the king said to Haman, Make haste and take the apparel and the horse, as thou hast said, and do even so to Mordecai. So he wanted to hang Mordecai, get rid of him and his people. And here it is now the king is about to put him on his horse and give him put him on his put his apparel and put him on his horse and give him all that honor, man. Okay, throughout the city. All right, he's about to elevate him. He's about to promote him. Let's read on. It says, And Mordecai came to the king's gate, but Haman hasted to his house mourning and having his head covered. This is the point. And Haman told Zeresh his wife and all his friends everything that had befallen him. Then said his wise men and Zeresh his wife unto him, If Mordecai be of the seed of the Jews, before whom thou hast begun to fall, thou shalt not prevail against him, but shalt surely fall before him. And that's exactly what ended up happening to Haman and his entire household. They fell before Mordecai, Esther, and the Jews, man. And what happened? The king exalted Mordecai, man. And who did all of this? Yahawah Shem Yahushua, man. Right? Now, this is a great example. Like we said, we have, our own few minor testimonies. Like that brother mentioned his, manager tried to get him fired, and he didn't even know. Right? He thought he was at peace with the guy. Yahawah Shem Yahushua ended up getting him fired, and he ended up taking his position, man. All glory go to Yahawah Shem Yahushua, man. And like we said, we all, have our own similar testimonies, man. That's why it's important to fear Yahawah Shem Yahushua. That's the beauty of this work, man. Right? And ultimately, we know that we want to see the society collapse. And Aisha, man. Like Sirach said, he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. Because as Aisha is going down, we are going to be lifted up, man. Adawan Ratzah. We're of that number. Okay? That's why the scripture says, I'll close it out with Psalms 37. This is what the scripture says. Psalms chapter 37. Psalms 37 verse 12. It says, The wicked plotteth against the just. The wicked is always plotting against the just. Right? The scripture says they sleep not unless they cause some to fall. They're always plotting. Okay? It tells you that in Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter as well. They want to afflict and destroy the righteous man because they know we weren't created. The scripture says we were created to reprove their thoughts. We were created to condemn them. And they know that, man. They see us out there. Right? So the scripture says the wicked plots against the just and gnash upon him with his teeth. Like we said, a beast's strength is in his teeth. They want to devour us. The Lord shall laugh at him, for he see that his day is coming, his downfall. The wicked have drawn out the sword, and have bent their bow to cast down the poor and needy, and to slay such as be upright conversation. That's the prophets, man. So they want to cast us down, get rid of us, man. Destroy us. Like True tells Revelation, the 12th chapter. Make war with the remnant of his seed and those that keep the commandments. But what the scripture says, what? Their sword shall enter into their own hearts, and their bows shall be broken, man. Okay? The Most High is going to break the strength of the wicked, man. We don't have to do anything. Okay? The scripture says their own sword is going to enter into their own heart, and their bows shall be broken, man. A little that a righteous man hath is better than the riches of many wicked. Because we have the wisdom, which is the fear of Yahawah, man. And like we're going into this lesson, promotion don't come from man. It comes from the Lord. The Most High can raise you up, man. Okay, as we just read those different accounts. With Daniel. With Joseph. Read the account with Judas Maccabees in the canyon. Okay, the Most High gave him victory over Nicanor, man. And of course, we read the book of Esther. This is where Purim comes into play. Mordecai got exalted, man. And he was on the verge of death. And the Most High brought down the enemy, man. Haman Haman, who was an Edomite and Amalekite. And that's about to happen again, man. Okay, the Most High is about to exalt his elect. All right, it says, for the arms of the wicked shall be broken, but Yahawah shall uphold the righteous, man. He's going to uphold the righteous, man. Okay? So like I said, beautiful testimony from the elder, man. Like I said, man, call him la Yahawah shall for this truth, man. Okay, and Adam Ratazah, man, we going to get the victory over our enemies and adversaries, man. Everybody, man. These nations, right? These, of course, these Edomites, the elite, and of course 2/3 of you wicked, degenerate niggas as well, man. Because you also the enemy, man. All right? So that, like I say, call him la Yahawah Shalom.